Oh, wow.
Okay.
Official.
You have to behave.
So I guess the first question would be, what was the Truman Show about? Like, if you had to choose like one word or one phrase to describe the movie, what would you use to describe it?
Reality show.
They're saying reality show.
Yeah.
I agree. It's kind of a reality show.
Television show, right?
Yeah.
Because before the
One
Truman
word,
Show.
one word.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, reality TV.
Okay,
Marissa?
Anna's giving escaping reality.
Escaping reality?
From what I remember, I believe that it was like a lie. There was a lie because this poor guy didn't know. Okay, one word you said. For lie.
An experiment?
An experiment, but it's not ethical. An unethical experiment, I think.
Yeah, good one.
Okay. What would you say are some of the biblical themes that you saw in the movie? Or if there were any. Because it's a secular movie, right?
He is a creation of some. He is a creation of someone. There's a creator. That's the first thing that struck me.
Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting was all his interactions were intentional by the creator following the script. And there was a line at the beginning that says he is more authentic. I mean, even if his life was not real, right? He was the most authentic person. And I at the end, I thought, okay, I mean, I have to think about what made him authentic under that type of scenario, because I would not want, that's why he left too, right?
Yeah.
What's the great one, Marissa? Creator's definitely one. What else?
I don't know, Maria was going to say something?
Yeah, sorry. I'm driving, so I'm on the highway. But wasn't there something, like, was there someone that was trying to save him? Like, there was a female, and she was trying to save him from this. Like, so I guess that would be my comment.
Yeah, Sylvia.
I really liked the when the director is interviewed and he says someone asked the question about the lady that's trying to save him, say, you are lying, this is not good. And he said, well, if he wants, he can find truth. And to me, when it struck me that at that point, and I think I had this view before, that dome where he lives is the culture. The culture is telling you this, and you have to live with this, unless you want to cross the bridge and find the truth.
So the line that he says is, if he was absolutely determined to discover the truth, nothing would stop him.
Yes.
So,
but he was comfortable, right? In that life. He had everything there in a way, right?
He had everything.
Everything was safe, right?
But he was missing something.
Freedom.
So he was like
free will. Yeah. He had no free will.
It wasn't real, right?
Yeah.
But he thought he had, right? Until he got that little thing that triggered his thought, oh, what if that girl was saying something? It's all fake. What is fake? Because his life was perfect.
But remember, even when he walked into that bank and he thought he was going to walk into that elevator, and then he saw the crew at the back. It was like, what is going on here?
Because he tried, and he just did that because I think he wanted to do something different from what he was doing every day. So he was trying out something. And then also the street, when he goes crazy around and around and around, and then he goes out on the street and everything blocks him, and then he goes a little bit and everything is free. So he starts, well, wait a minute, there's something wrong there.
So
But other than that, would be a perfect life within the norms.
So what we call that, so like with respect to theology of the body, that point where he starts to ask questions is almost what we refer to as eros, right? Like there's this calling inside of us that kind of just like, there's something there, and it's really hard for us to describe it, to understand it, because you have like all these little voices in your head. And so for Truman, whenever he was seeking, right? So he's trying to figure out what that calling is within. Every single time he was doing that, there was always a distraction. So one of those is just that, right? He walked into this building, he's trying to do something out of the ordinary, walks into the building, and it's the back of the elevator is a set scene. So he's like, that's weird. Like, right? Like he's questioning. You could see it. But every time he questions what's going on, if you notice, there's always an answer being given to him. Not an answer that he found, but it's always like it's somebody on the radio, or with the incident of the elevator, it was his wife who was like, oh, there was this massive elevator accident yesterday and I got to go to surgery now. Right? But there's actually, in the movie, there's a couple of things. Every time he's trying to look or seek, there's always a distraction. But there was two big ones that came up in the movie that Satan often uses in real life. I'm not sure if you guys noticed.
Say that again.
So there was two distractions in the movie that every time he was curious or like questioning, there was always something that came that tried to distract him from the direction that he was going in. So I'm not sure if you guys, what is that, Sandra?
I thought of the new lady that they put there to make him enter.
Yeah, so definitely a distraction. I'm thinking like his best friend.
The best friend with the beer.
Always the
all
beer.
the time.
Right? Every single time. He always brought beer. And if you noticed with the wife, whenever Truman was trying to get into like deep conversations, she tried to distract him with sex. So there was always like these distractions. And in our world, Satan uses two things that are meant for good. Like beer was a gift that God made for us to be able to enjoy, not to abuse, but to enjoy. Sex was given to us as a gift and to be abused. But it was interesting how, like some of the distractions that we have today were also in this movie trying to distract him from finding his inner purpose. Right? And then there was one more that Satan always uses, that there was something that always held him back. You guys remember?
Finances?
Sorry?
The finances? Oh, we have mortgage to pay.
Right? So she kept throwing that at him, like it's that security, right? But there was one, what was the other one? Do you remember when his coworker came to him, told him like, you have to make this deal, right? But you have to go see the client. Do you remember where that client was?
He had to take a boat.
He had to take a boat.
Yeah.
Did he take the boat?
He had the fear. Fear of
Yeah.
I think he had a fear of going on the water.
Because he lost his dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he thought he did.
Yeah.
And that was one of those pieces, right? So when we look at Satan today, what does he use to control us? Our fear, right?
Mhm.
And in that movie, he creates the fear because he loses the dad in that accident. And then from that point, that fear prevents him from, being an explorer, right? He wanted to be an explorer. Can't do that because you're scared of water. You can't go and close business this month because he was scared of getting on the boat.
Mhm.
So it was interesting how like these things that we often are plagued in our own everyday world can also be plagued in a movie, right? We get to see an image of that on screen.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that now makes sense. I knew there was something, but it was hard to connect the dots, and you just did it. Fear, things to enjoy that are used to kind of not let us think for ourselves, let's say.
Almost numb you, right?
Numb you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
They
distract.
kind of like you're so numb to everything. And then if you're numb, you're not gonna have the
React.
courage,
Mhm.
right, to step out of it. He made this great point. Just want to make sure I don't miss it. Oh, so when Christoph is being interviewed, one of the things that he says is when he's talking to Truman at the end, he's like, in this world, you have nothing to worry about, right? Because I created this world for you. And it's interesting because who gave him the fear,
Same
The
person.
same creator.
Hey,
right? Because you wouldn't have planned, like, right? Like, that didn't just happen. Like, they planned for the dad to die on the boat, right? So it's like they wanted to make sure that they did everything they could to contain him within that island or that set that they had created for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting because oftentimes we are wounded, and then from there comes this big fear.
mhm.
Until we deal with the fear, we can't overcome, right? Like we can't move past it until we've dealt with the fear or until we've dealt with the underlying wound that caused that fear. But it's a good reminder that Satan doesn't control us, right? Oftentimes we think he does, but when you see, like once he was ready to confront his fear, there was nothing that was going to stop him from getting out. And as much as they were telling him these messages like, you're safe here, or I don't know if you guys remember when he's buying the ticket. Do you remember when he's trying to buy a ticket for Fiji? And on the wall is a poster with a lightning bolt going right through the plane.
I didn't see that.
And it says, this could be you. Right? Because he sells insurance. So he's going to be extra cautious all the time. He's always going to be worried about something happening. And then here he is. He's so excited to get this ticket to go to Fiji. And then you look and you're like, oh, like, right? Like sometimes it's not even messages. Like it's not always words that were said, but they were like subliminal messages all around him.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, a lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
So I'll say one really special theme in the movie is Mary. She presents herself in the movie in different ways. Is there did you guys notice any sort of relations or similarities to Mary from the movie?
The only thing I could think is Sylvia.
Yeah, for sure. She did definitely resemble the Blessed Mother. Why would you have thought that, Sandra?
Because she came to him to tell him that there is more than just that life that he was living. There was something more.
Yeah. And so when you love someone so much, what happens? You want to tell them the truth, right? At
Yeah.
whatever cost it is to you, you'll take it because you love this person so much that you want them to have the truth or to know the truth, right? you know, if you notice throughout the movie, she always believed in him, right? All of these people around the world are watching, right? There's millions and millions of viewers watching this, and she was one of the few who had started this like campaign to
free him.
to free him, because she saw him as a prisoner, right? Like she didn't see him as a star.
Yeah.
She could see him for what he was.
So I'm gonna expand on that. Maybe you have that on your notes, but if you pay attention in the end, when the episode is done, everybody says, "What's the next thing to watch?" And they just move on. And she's the only one. She gets her coat and go towards him.
Yeah.
Because she's so happy she's gonna meet him. Apparently, that's what gives the impression. The other ones just go, "Oh, whatever, next," and she goes towards him.
Yeah. And right
Wow.
before, so, and that's great that you caught that, Sandra. There was also this part where Christoph is talking to Truman, right? So he's about to go up the stairs, and he's telling him there was a part where it's like, you don't want to go. Like,
Yeah.
you want to go. Like, you want to stay here. Like, this is safe. And what was she doing? Do you remember what she was doing something?
Just cheering.
She was cheering for
You
him.
can do it, and crying.
Yeah, and she was interceding for him. She was actually praying for him because she's like, oh God, he could do it. He could do it. He could do it.
Yeah.
Like the Blessed Mother, right? What does she do? She is always interceding for us because she believes in us, right? She believes that we're going to be able to do it. So it's cute because there's always these, you know, like there's these little sort of ties back. Did you notice the name of the boat that he got onto?
Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right? So it's like, and then there's on the sail, there was this number on the sail. It was, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but there was a number, big number on the sail, and it was 139, which is Psalm 139, which is, oh my gosh. God, you like Jesus. God, you are always with me. Oh, it's you know me, dear Lord. You search for me wherever I go. You find me.
Oh,
My goodness, that could not be coincidence.
no.
My goodness, who is the director?
I don't know. I actually, to be honest, Sandra, that's what I wanted to look at today. I was like, I got to do some research because even the girls, they woke up this morning and they're like, I'm still thinking about it.
Oh Lord, you search me. You know me when I sit, when I rise, when I discern my thoughts from far away.
Wow.
The inescapable God.
Oh.
And it's what he uses to leave the island, right? So it's almost like Psalm 139 is what's in his heart, that, you know, not only is God searching for him, but he's searching for God. And then he uses the Blessed Mother to get to the other side, right? Like he uses the Mother to get there.
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
Right? And it's a secular movie. And this is what kills me. I'm like, and this is a secular movie? Oh my goodness. Definitely, these were none of my thoughts when I watched it the first time. I'm like, oh, that was great.
Yeah, but it has a very strong parallelism with the religion. So I don't think in this case is a coincidence. I think.
Yeah.
Could be.
It could be. I have a really hard, like, there's just so many, like,
But you would only know it if you know the story.
But you know what? There's some people, I think there's some directors, and sometimes they try to mock the religion, but because they don't know much, or they may have an influence, they ended up, instead of mocking, because he is definitely playing God in the director.
what was his name?
Not playing God. He's not playing God.
No,
creator.
the director.
No, he's not playing God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is. He is interfering in the not playing God
No, I think he's
the
playing
way
like
we know God.
the
But he is
devil.
a
I don't know.
creator.
I think he's playing like the
No,
devil.
no.
And have
A
you
God
in
in the
this
same.
comfortable world where you have everything. Don't think. Don't. I give you everything.
I
If you
understand
do
what
what
Yeah.
we want you to do.
I understand what Sandra's saying. I think it's
Yeah.
if you apply it in a world like no evil, no whatever.
Yeah.
He directs, he decides where you go, what you do. So
Oh,
he influences, and he decides, right?
yeah,
It's-
but that's not what God does.
Yeah.
But
No,
So
no, no.
God-
But it's not the God we know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking
Oh.
if the director doesn't have any Christian background, he might be playing, like making a movie to kind of show people how, maybe he wants to mock, say, you see, God, he does that with you, but it's the opposite,
I
There's
see,
an
I see,
opposite effect. So he's kind of playing with the God concept, but he ended up burning himself, let's say, because he didn't find more meaning.
I want to take that one just a step further, Sandra. What was the producer's name in the movie?
The producer of the movie or in the movie?
Of the TV show.
What's the name?
What was the producer's name?
Oh, you mean in the like his role?
The actor name. Yeah, yeah.
Remember his name?
The character. Oh my God. Let me think. What could it be?
Starts with
Remember his
J.
name?
Start with what?
Christoph.
Jonathan? No.
It was Christoph.
Christoph. Oh yeah.
Christoph. He's anti-Christ. He's Christ, but off.
No, this director has to have an intention.
Right? Isn't that like
Hmm.
right? Christoph. Like, and the crazy thing is the moment that Bella saw that name on the screen, the way she said his name was Christ off.
Oh.
What? Like, and then threw her right off the bat, and she knew nothing about the movie other than I had to watch this movie for my class. That was it. But the moment she saw it, the first thing she said was, "Christ is off. Christ off."
Pronounced it properly.
Wow.
So it's like he's mocking God, right? So when we say at the end, he's like, "I'm the creator."
Mm-hmm.
Show, right? Like he says, I'm the creator, and then he stops and he's like, of the show, right? So he's definitely trying to say, like, I'm the creator,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so he's mocking.
Oh my God. I have goosebumps.
Yeah, but that's what Satan does, right? Satan can't create anything from nothing. He's not allowed to create anything, but he can use what's already created and twist it to make a mockery of it, right? Which is what he's trying to do.
Satan, that's right. Yeah. But maybe the director had the intention to say, you see, you don't need religion. You don't need a creator, because the creator is trying to manipulate you. That's just the mockery that they are playing with God. But in the end, I don't know. Then, yeah. In
But
the end,
was it
we
a
can
good
see
ending?
God even into.
So do you think that
Well, he
ended well?
Did it end well?
Well, he lives the creator, right? The creator, false creator.
Yeah, the false creator.
So he leaves.
He goes
that
Oh, he's free. He's
life.
free now.
He's free.
Yeah. So in a non-Christian idea, because then if that is the creator, that religion kind of manipulates you, so then you are free to not have religion if you are not thinking through Christian lens, right? You see how the world, even Truman prefers the world than this created thing that God makes for you.
And so Sandra, take that a step further, right? So he's going up the stairs. There's the exit. The door's open. And what does it look like? Do you remember what
Dark.
it was?
Yeah.
Dark.
Oh,
It
goodness.
was black. But where he's standing, right? This whole like world that was all light, right? And so it was like this thing, like an image showing, you're gonna go in, like in there, out there is the truth.
Yeah.
It's unknown, and it's gonna look dark and scary, and you're not like you're gonna want to stay here, right? Like Christoph kept saying, like, you want to be here, like this is safe, right? And oftentimes when we're looking for our true,
I have heard that before.
it always looks scary, right? Like
Stay as you are.
just stay as you are, right? Like it's because it's easy, right? Why do we try to not go to confession? It's like, oh, it's okay. It's just a little sin, right? Like it's just a little one. You're fine. It's okay. He's gonna forgive you for everything, right? Like it's like that little, and it's interesting because I would have thought that an exit would have been full of light, and so when I saw it as dark, I'm like, that's scary. Like it's scary to like take that leap of faith to follow, knowing that you don't know what's on the other side.
Which right now for us being Christians is darkness, right? Because you're going to be rejected, right? But maybe for the director of a, secular movie would be live behind religion and your creator, but we see the opposite.
Like, what did you guys think of the people watching?
I think I thought
I think it was terrible to leave that guy there living all his life, right?
Yeah, they don't care about him. They
Like,
just want to
don't
entertain
care.
him.
Just care about, like, I don't know, this.
I just want my entertainment.
To see
Right?
what's going on with him, right? What he's gonna do, and
But they were watching him 24/7, right? I mean, people were in the bath,
It's that I want my entertainment.
in a job.
But it's
They have merchandise.
so isn't it interesting that the abuse of a person, right? Like this was one of 5 unwanted pregnancies, first baby to be adopted by a company, right? Adopted by a film company. And so we know that this child's dignity was taken from him, and he was made into an object, right, that everyone could use, and reality is was being used for entertainment, right? The ultimate thing with Truman, it was simply for entertainment, and the whole world was fascinated by it. And so the link there to today is very much that mob mentality that we often don't question it. We just kind of like go with whatever the world gives us. And, one of the things that in our course we learned about was just, it's like porn. Because those people that are in those videos, that are in that material, those pictures, those videos, they're being seen as objects simply for entertainment. Their dignity's been taken away from them. And what do we hear a lot of people say now? Oh, come on, everybody does it. There's nothing wrong with it, right? Like and so we can see similarities of Truman's world in our world. And how often do we stand up to be like that's crazy. Like, that's not right.
yeah.
Because it's the minority, right? It's like Sylvia's voice. It's going to be the minority trying to like share the truth, and others are going to be like, this is a quick fix, like this is fun, I enjoy this, I'm not hurting anybody, right. So it was like it was interesting because I didn't think about it, but they were obsessed to watch somebody sleeping, right, like 24 hours a day. Like they were watching.
Yeah. How interesting. And how addicting was, right?
Yeah, because it was addictive for them, right?
Yeah. And even when they had to stop the transmission, they said it was the highest
Rating.
rating that they ever had, because now they don't have it, so now they want to see what's going on.
It's
So-
a bit of you say morbo. How you say that,
Morbid.
Sandra? Like when you
What?
enjoy seeing something that
Morbid.
Morbid.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they knew what was the reality of this person living there, born there, and everything. And just they wanted to see it.
Yeah, another thing that I heard from Leah Darrow, she talks about reality shows because she was in one, and she says that even reality show that you sign in for, because she was in the Next Top Model, and she talks in her book. I haven't finished the book yet, but she talks in her book about how they are objects. So there is a cameraman like some feet away from her all the time, even when she's in the washroom and when she's sleeping, every time. And they edit it according to what interests them to get the biggest rates, right? And that's modeling as well. And that's a lot of, even, like, I don't know, anybody that sometimes choose fame with a cost, right?
So what would you say then, Sandra, for the wife, right? So Truman's wife, right? Like the girls had a really hard time with the wife, because in their mind they're like she was paid to be his wife in all sense of that word.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to them, like, but she wasn't really like a wife. She was an actress portraying.
Yeah, she was acting.
And do you think that he felt that? Like, did he see her as like his true love?
I think he should have felt some. I think he felt the superficiality on everything. And
He
at the
mentioned
end,
something. Yeah, I think there's a time.
I think at the beginning, I don't remember very well, but I think at the beginning he was a bit like artificial, right? That's what I kind of remember. Himself also was a bit like artificial, because to be in contact with people that is not authentic with you, I don't think.
I love how you said, Fabiana, because it is so true. We see it where he's in the basement and he's got this like chest of like all of these things that are pretty precious. Like he's got like this chest with like his little gun and the holster and like the pictures, and then he's got the sweater, right? Sylvia's sweater from that day at the beach. But if you noticed, when his wife comes down, what does he do? Do you remember?
He hides it.
He's hiding it, right? And oftentimes when we are with somebody that we love, we open up those memories to share with them. We don't close them. We often close them when we're trying to protect them because they're so precious to us. We want to share that with somebody who can see, not somebody who's just, right? Like anybody can look at you when you're walking around and stuff, but to be able to like see them where you actually see who they are, what they're passionate about, and you can sense that he didn't feel safe with her.
Yeah.
When he's in that moment, he's like, there's no way I'm allowing you into this. Right? Like it's like, I feel that was one of those pieces where he was like you could see that connection was very superficial.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to allow her to take that away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sweet.
I think there is one time when he is having that breakdown, that he says, you never liked me anyway, right? Yeah.
Well, because he's questioning, right? He's like, why do you
Yeah.
want to have a baby with me? You don't even like me.
Right? He feels it. Yeah. I think because everybody's saying that. I think it's just like what Father Mario says, that this world that just whatever you say, they affirm you. So you never get challenged. So that, and they were always affirming him that he has to marry with that lady, you know, because everything was in the script. But sometimes you go through life like this, right? Oh, I think this is easy. Everybody agrees that this is good. So I'm just going to go this way. Instead of, yeah.
I love that. That's such a great reflection, because oftentimes we hear this a lot when marriages break down, and then sometimes one of the partners will be like, oh, you should have followed my gut. I knew this was meant, or like, I knew that we didn't see eye to eye with this, but you know what, like, we'll get married, we'll get over it, or
I'll change him.
Yeah, I'll change. She'll change.
Right? Yeah. But it's sad because we don't get this preparation, right? We don't always have this talks about finding yourself, right? And right now the culture is telling us that we are more important. We have to be happy all the time.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So of course you are going to choose the easy way, because who wants to suffer? You're here to be happy. I hate when I hear this. You're here to be happy.
Oh, if you're happy, it's good.
It's good.
Do whatever you want. If you're
Nothing wrong
happy,
with
it makes you happy.
But that's not your purpose.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But it's difficult to discuss with people. Oh, you don't want me to be happy? No, it's not that.
But it's Christopher West was describing it as the litmus test.
As the what?
The litmus test. The way, like, just to see whose voice are you listening to, right? And so, or to confirm the voice that you're listening to. Because if the voice is like, yeah, you should just be happy just in this moment, who cares about the consequences? There are no consequences. Then you know that that's not a divine voice, right? Because the divine voice will say, you can have joy, but you're going to have to carry a cross too.
Oh, that
right?
voice, I don't like.
Right? Like it doesn't separate the cross from the joy, because it knows that the cross will redeem the joy, right? Like that, it'll be redeemed, the challenges they're going through. So it's he calls it like the litmus test. He goes, if you're ever like these little voices, and that's what was happening to Truman. He was having all these like voices, right? And so he knew, because he was just like, but it just can't be, like, it can't just be that easy, right? Like, I can't be an explorer. I can't go to Fiji. Like, no, you don't have, like, he always kept like challenging himself, and he was okay to challenge himself.
Yeah.
Do we know his age when he realized this, or no? In the movie, doesn't talk about his age.
So we start off at day 10,909, which the girls did the calculation yesterday, which would have been 30 years old.
Yeah,
30.
That's what I thought. Because he lost his dad for the last 22 years. And that's how they mention it. And he was about 6, 7. So I thought it was about the 30th. Yeah. It's usually when we start to question a little bit more, because on our 20s, to be honest, happened to me. I was not caring where I was going or God or whatever, because I had more important things to conquer, right? To find who I am. But it's around the 30th. It was for me a little bit later because I'm a little delayed. But after 35, when I came here, when I was not distracted with other things, I was here in Canada by myself, that I started thinking, should I not be prepared for more? Right? And yeah, but I always think if I did not come to Canada, would I be where I am right now? with all the distractions of family and other things. I don't know. Because
Okay,
sometimes when you have too much, you don't look for more.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Wow.
So you guys know that in every movie, they always somehow tie in the title of the movie to they kind of like tie it all in together, and we'll sort of leave it at this piece. When he's trying to go through the exit door, the two men who they look like they were security guards. I'm not sure if you guys caught what they said as he's walking out. And they're like, so right before they're about to be like, oh, let's just see what's next, right? They say this one line and they say, way to go, true, and
Oh,
that he had been a man who was true to his heart.
that's very nice.
And so that's how they tie in his name to
Mhm.
the movie.
Oh, I see.
Way to go.
True
True, man.
and
Oh, Truman. Wow.
I have to say, when I watched that movie, I didn't think about any of this. Maybe a little bit about a world of comfort, whatever, getting out, but not so much
Wow.
more.
No, this is really, really mind blowing. I'm so thankful that I could join this conversation. It was mind blowing. True man. Wow.
And so, as like the director of the real movie, right? A true artist who now has shown that, people need to follow what's inside, right? Like you've just seen like this man go through the transformation of a fake world into finding his true passion. And, that one section of the movie where the security guards are like, oh well, let's see what's next, right? It's supposed to signify, everyone who went to the movie, watched this movie, and then what happens as soon as they leave the theater? They're like, oh, okay, so sweetheart, what are we gonna do next? Where are we
We're gonna watch it next week.
Yeah, what are we gonna eat? Like what, right? How often does that happen where you see this transformation in someone else that's meant to spur your own like heart, right? Growing and changing, and we sort of discount it because they're like, okay, what's the next distraction?
Yeah.
As opposed to, and then
Reflect and
Yeah.
be more sensible about.
And then he says that that's almost like where Jesus starts to say, I've come to give sight to the blind, right? To help those who cannot see, but you can't handle it, right? He says to the Pharisees, he's like I don't know what to do. Like I'm here.
In front of you.
I'm telling you where I came from. Like you're still asking me to see my Father, right? As the apostles were like, show me your Father. That'll be it. Like, I don't know what else to do. Like I'm here, right? And it's like how often, like that's like that struggle that Jesus has. And I think it was Pope Francis or Pope Benedict who said, as an artist, that's what they struggle with. They struggle so much that they've had this vision or they've seen and they're trying to put it into their artwork. And their dream is that the ones who see it and receive the art are able to get out of it what they've put into it. And Jesus did the same, right? When he came, he's like, I'm coming to give you my gift, like my body. I'm giving you everything I have. And yet, we weren't always ready to receive the gift, right? So it's like that, and that's why, like they were saying, like, it's like, I wonder if that's why they put that line right at the end. It's like, okay, what's next? Right?
Yep.
Because we've just watched this movie, but we've been blind. Like we saw it, but we didn't really see it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not everybody's prepared, is ready.
Yeah. Or you don't want to because it's just the next thing, right?
Yeah.
Or scary, or right? Like there's so many reasons why we're scared to take this next step.
Wow. Beautiful. Mind blowing.
Yeah, so many things to think about. Like,
Can't wait for the next movie review.
I'm gonna watch the next one. Actually, we don't have Netflix or nothing, cable, nothing. We don't watch TV or anything.
I did
Oh,
watch this
me
movie.
too.
Sorry, this is the first time I heard about it.
Oh no, you never watched
No,
it?
no, I never watched it. But it sounds like a commentary on reality, right?
Yeah.
Some director, somebody wrote this movie script, and made a script, a reality show about reality type of thing, right?
Before we had reality shows. That's the
Well, it
crazy.
sounds like to me, okay, it's almost a movie about the audience as much as a movie about the main characters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
What kind
And
of
it's like
audience you have?
it's like to expose an attitude in society, right? And brings out this idea of watching and not being part of something, but just watching it just for the heck of watching it, right? And the sad truth is that it's true. That's the sad truth, right?
Yeah.
So
True, Paul.
And
How
it's-
often do we watch something? How often are we watching someone else live their life
Witnessing something, right?
instead of us living our own life? Right? It's easier to like watch, right? Flip a channel,
Yeah.
watch somebody else than it is for us to live our own life.
So, as a comment on society today, there are times when people are in need of help, right? Or are in very dire situations. And what the people around them do, rather than help them, is like video them, right? Just for the heck of getting this reality show without actually helping the people who need the help, right? And you wouldn't even think that this would happen, but does happen, right? People do this. So that's the sad part. And this guy foresaw it, 20 years ago, and made a movie about it, out of those ideas, right?
No, that's a good point.
That's such a great point. Such a great point.
Carries me that what we see on the movies now may be our future.
Well, those actors are the directors with a certain vision who make these types of movies, right?
Yeah. Well, they are good observers of
Yeah, well,
of situations, right?
So
Very good.
anyway, very interesting.
I feel
Thank you
I
so
didn't
much.
add anything to that, Paul. I think you like summed it so well. I think that's
Yeah.
the best like final thought.
Yeah.
So do you have the next movie?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of there's a huge list that he gave
Oh,
us.
really?
There's like 25 different movies that that he gave us just to like watch. So the goal of why he gave us this movie is to say, oftentimes as a Christian or a Catholic, we end up feeling like the only movies we can watch are Christian movies, right? But they're often not done well. They don't like, because what happens is that a lot of those film companies, they just want to get the message across, but
They are
don't-
too digested. Like,
yeah, and they don't often use what the human being needs, which is beauty, right? Like it's more about the message has to come across like as quickly as it can,
obvious.
they can, without necessarily the beauty of how everything kind of rolls out. And so what he was saying is that oftentimes God will use secular movies, secular music to talk to your heart. And so that's why he chooses like 20, I think it's 20 or 25 different movies that are all secular, that he says in each of these are moments where God could be speaking to you. But if you close your mind, that it's like, one of them is Spider-Man, right? So you would never think I would think
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I cry in Spider-Man so much, especially the old one. Oh my goodness.
But it's interesting how, like, you know what I mean? That connection, right? Like, it's because for a lot of people, they wouldn't think that way. It's like, oh, it's Spider-Man. I can't watch that. You know,
I love the superheroes, all of them,
he's got
especially the ones that suffer to be a superhero. Because if you pay attention, oh, have you seen the Mastermind, the cartoon with the big one with the blue head? Watch that movie. He creates a hero, but the hero, when he got the powers, he goes, well, rob a bank because now I can have money. It's not always that you have the power, that you have the heart to be a hero. So I love Spider-Man, the original. The other ones are a little, they water down a little bit, but the one with the uncle, that when you have the power, you have to have the responsibility that comes with power. Well, that's, yeah. I am more into this, and sorry, I'm going a little bit ahead, but I love this thing about bringing the culture to your faith, because that's the encounter. Because if you go to out there and start talking to people about Jesus and salvation, they won't listen to you.
No.
They already have this fog that this is church stuff. I don't care. But if you come and say, have you seen that movie, The Quiet Place? I love when the father gives his life to his sons, to his, oh, really? Yeah, I love it. It connects me so much. And then you start a conversation and you can go way, way, way on lots of things that you wouldn't even get close if you start with Jesus.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
but it's
So you have to be smart.
yeah, but it's Sandra, we have to meet them where they are, not
Right.
bring them to where we are at, because our heart's already been transformed and we've developed. But in order to evangelize, no different than what Jesus did, right? He attracted people to him. Why? Because he went to them where they were, not just physically, right? Not just geography, not just from a geography perspective, but he met them where their heart was at, and then helped to show them the truth, so that they automatically gravitate to it. And I
Yeah.
think that's the problem sometimes, is that we want to so badly evangelize because we want to share what's in our hearts, but we come across in a way where we're like dirty salesmen.
Yeah.
And then we end up turning them off instead of attracting, right?
Yeah. I did that many times. When I tried, I opened my mouth and it came across like, oh, here comes her
Again.
again with this Jesus stuff. Oh. But it is. You are so yeah.
No, because also sometimes you are excited about things you
Yeah.
discover and you want to tell people about.
It's just like when you start a diet and it works. You gotta do this diet. It's gonna be perfect for you. But yeah, some people don't like vegetables. So what can you do?
You'll see it through your actions, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the piece, that transformation of your heart should come with a sense of peace, that that everyone becomes attracted to, because everybody seeks it in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we should try to reflect the light, right? Like, it's not, we can't be the light, but we need to reflect it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to do that, we have to have received that gift and understood it, spend time with it, reflect it before we can help others, before we can teach others.
Yeah.
Right? And oftentimes it's like we learn and we're just like, whoosh, right?
Yeah.
Instead of and then it's like, okay, wait, I'm just selling you. I'm not necessarily telling you from what's happened to me. Or
Yeah.
you can't automatically see it.
Yeah.
It's huge learning. I think it's always cute to try something new. So thank you guys for trying our.
Oh, thank you. It was
Thank
very
you.
interesting.
Was
Was very
amazing. Really amazing. Thank you. We'll do it more time.
For sure. Thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
with us.
you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Night.
Good night.
Mhm.